Hi, sorry, I keep forgetting to change my name when I get in here. So thank you for having us participate in this. Happy to be here. My name is Tamara Steele. I'm trying to talk and change my name at the same time. There. So I'm the executive director for the Black Cultural Society of PEI, and we've been around for a number of years, but we've been around for 9 years, just about, and only in this format with an office and paid staff, running multiple programs other than just Black History Month for 4 years, almost five. So um, we run a number of different programs, and we're kind of on a bit of a hiatus with some of them right now as we're working towards a new strategic plan. We've kind of bitten off a bit more than we can chew in the last few years and are trying to rein in our scope and our focus so we can really address the most pertinent needs of the community. So what we've been doing over the last number of years has included kind of anything that the community identified as a need. So we ran some business grants at one point. We've done youth programming, a youth camp, a couple of youth camps. We've done quite a lot of programming for Black women. Obviously, all of our programming is to service the Black community, but we've done we do a bursary every year for post-secondary students. That's three $1,000 bursaries every year. We do a holiday care box program, which is coming up in December. The bursaries are given out. Sorry to backtrack, but the bursaries are given out for second semester. So you apply in first semester and they get announced in December, and the finances get issued to the schools in January. And then the holiday care boxes is just a food box, a grocery box that we give out in December to members of our community in need. And then we also do annual Emancipation Day commemoration programming. So that's usually an in-person event in Rochford Square, which is in the Bog, every year on August 1st. And sometimes we'll do some programming in the day as well, some virtual programming, depending on funding and grant levels and availability, capacity, and all that. And then our big programming that we do every year, obviously, is Black History Month, which is a whole month of programming, which we are in the thick of planning right now. In terms of volunteer work, are we're looking for people. We will be looking for people in the very near future to help us to schedule the deliveries and make deliveries of our holiday care boxes. That is something we do every year. It's only a few days. It's like 2, 3 days in December, and that's it. Right before we go on break. It's always the last thing we do before we go on our holiday break. And that's usually ends in, as of last year, because it's so much work, we've implemented a little, we'll feed you while you're here kind of policy. We usually do a big dinner kind of close to the end of it. So anyone who's helped out for those couple of days can come at the end and we'll order some food up, usually from a Black owned restaurant. Um, so it's actually kind of fun. It sounds a little bit tedious, but it's kind of fun because it's just a bunch of people hanging out in the office and we break up the list. There's 30 boxes. We break up the list and make calls and find out addresses and try to make a little route for people so each person can take a few boxes and make the route make sense for them so they're not bouncing one end of town to the other. Um, and then of course, if you have a license and a vehicle, you're welcome to help us make those deliveries as well. So but if you don't have a license, that's fine. You can help with the in-office planning. So that's kind of a big one over a couple of days. And then our Black History Month programming will require volunteers as well. Volunteers for Black History Month usually are, um, monitoring tables, collecting donations, and it depends on what the programming is. So, and we'll have that finalized soon, but we will be putting out a call for volunteers for that probably in December, but it might not actually go out until January. but we'll need some hands on deck to help all those events go smoothly. And then our big thing that we're really looking for right now outside of regular programming is some help with our social media. So we're really looking for someone to help run our social media pages. We don't have anyone doing that right now, and there's so much work on Raquel and I play. There's only two of us in the office, so it's hard for us to capture everything we want to, and we come up with these ideas of things we want to do, and we don't have the capacity to sit down and make them happen. And to be honest, I'm just like way too slow at it. So having someone come in and helping us with our social media is kind of our big piece right now. And then we are also we'll be hiring someone part-time to help with some office work. And we may be looking for some volunteers to come kind of fill out some of that work as well. So just an office assistant work, admin work, that sort of thing. And then the other thing we will be looking for is, and this is kind of a big one and it's a bit specialized, but we run a peer support program out of our office, and we're in the process of hiring, or we will be hiring a new peer support worker slash coordinator for the program. And that person will need to be trained through CMHA as a certified peer support worker. We had someone in that role before, but their term ended and we're currently seeking funding to refill that role, to replace that person. But once we do that, we'll be looking for volunteers who would also be interested in getting trained. We would provide that training for you to work as a peer support network. We're trying to build a peer support network within the Black community. So again, that one's a bit specialized, but we will be looking for volunteers, and that will be more of a regular commitment. We're thinking, like 5 to 10 hours a month, doing some peer support work, one-on-one or group work, or helping out with some peer support programming. So those are kind of our big things that we're looking at right now, our big volunteer need items. And one thing I always like to add in these presentations is that if you are a member of the Black community and have an idea of programming you'd like to see, or, even if you're not, and there's kind of an education piece that you're thinking you need or anything like that, bring it to us, because we're very open, especially now where we're in this planning phase, this strategic planning phase. We are looking for that input, and we want to make programs happen that the community wants to see and that the community can take ownership of and feel like they own it and want to take part in it as well. So we're always open to that as well. I think that's it for me.
So that's fantastic.